104.9.
Robert Miguel Mornings and the most music all day.
Coyote Country.
It's 104.9 Coyote Country. Hey, you know what? Got a special guest with me on the telephone right now, Mr. Robert Ray. What's going on? Morning, sir.
I'm good morning, buddy. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
I always like talking to other Roberts, man, so it's always good.
That's right. Robert Square.
Yes, sir.
You're a musician. This is probably pretty early for you, right?
A little bit, a little early, but hey, it is what it is, man. And I love your station, man. There, KVOU, you guys treat me really well, and I like you, man. So of course, I know you and I. We had a good conversation at the awards show last week.
Yeah, man, what a great time. The Texas Regional Radio Music Awards. It was a good time. It was really cool to see all the artists, all the radio people, all the record promoters, all kind of in the same rooms. And just kind of, like you said during our little interview there, just kind of, we're all kind of a big family, but we all got a million things going on. So all in one place at one time, just brought together by this great music we all love. It was a great time, man. One of the best experiences I've had. So, yeah, it was really cool to talk to you. So, again, just to recap, you were nominated for Video of the Year, and
right.
And you got to perform out there, and it was a good time, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely. Had a really great time. I got to talk with a lot of the big guns in the industry, and then get some advice. Because the legends, Randy Rogers, Wade Ball, Kevin Fowler were there. A lot of other great artists as well, and it was just all in all, just a really great night. And like I said, we got to perform as well, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a tad bit nervous going up just because. The one and only Mr. Randy Travis was right there, so that was also made it twice as nerve-wracking. But I really enjoyed it, and so did my band. So I'm glad we were able to be a part of it, and I'm glad the T-Triple-R allowed us, to be a part of it as well.
Well, man, now you've got 2 number 1 singles off your new album, and then you're literally number 2 right now, hoping to score number 1 this week. But so you've already got a really great, successful record, Runaway with You, and you're already working on a new one. From what I understand, you're close to wrapping up the new record, right?
Yeah. So this pretty much this week we're working on final mixes, and I think by Friday we should have it sent out for mastering. Usually the way that works is for people that don't know about like how the studio works and everything, final mixes are just trying to get all the volume levels right for each instrument and vocals and everything, and make sure everything is all lined up, and then they send it off to Nashville to get it mastered. I get those back, and then pretty much now I can start, once I get those back, it'll probably be sometime next week, then I can start scheduling, all right, this is what we're going to release, and I think I'm going to do this album a little differently. I think we're probably going to release the single first and then come out with a full album, just to kind of give folks just kind of a taste of what the new album is going to be like. Because this album, it's going to be a little different, Anytime I go in the studio and I'm working on songs, I always like for songs they're going to have their own different, unique style and their own kind of vibe. And so, each song on here is kind of different. I actually did a song on here that's half English, half Spanish.
Oh.
So I'm kind of anxious to see how folks are going to take it. But, we're probably going to be releasing it probably I'm thinking early summer, possibly in either middle to late next month or maybe in June. But if all things go well and we dot the I's and cross the T's, I'm looking for a release in June, and of course, probably a single release out to radio in the next couple of weeks, because Runaway With You is, it's already kind of right there. We either hit number 1 or we don't, but in the next couple of weeks. So I'm ready, wanting to put out some new music to radio, and so that I'll probably get with my promoter, Dylan, and we'll figure out, okay, which is going to be the next release. So I'll definitely have some new music for you within the next month.
Okay, so again, we're talking to Robert Ray out of Alice, Texas, and the album Runaway With You. 2 number 1 singles so far, 1 just right at the cusp of number 1. So the new album, as far as that goes, Do you have the single picked out? Do you have a couple that you're leaning towards? Can you give us some kind of good scoop on that, what the single will be?
I'm not too sure what it could be because, there's...
Because they're all so good, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course I'm biased, right? Because, they're my songs, wrote them and all that. But it's just hard because, there's probably about 3 or 4, like, really strong candidates for singles. And I was actually, talking about it last night, and I was just like, man, what song? Because the hardest, the most, like, difficult things to do is, okay, come up with an album title, and then...
That was going to be my next question. What's the title, man? Come on.
So, I think, we're thinking right now, so what I like to do is I like to base the song title on either the most catchy sounding song or, at least my strongest song on the album. So, like, for instance, my first album, Dream Review, the title track, Dream Review, to me and to my team, we thought that was the strongest song on the EP. So, like, let's call it Dream Review. And actually, with Run Away With You, that album, Run Away With You was the first track we recorded. We were just going to release a single. We weren't going to do an album. Well, then, I got to writing and everything, and before you know it, I had an EP album ready. So we started producing it and everything, and I was like, Run Away With You is kind of my strongest song, I feel, Really, mostly because it was already done before all these others, so I had been hearing that song over and over again. I'm like,
right.
This is a really good song, and so this one has to be the title track. Whereas this album, there's one song that in my end that I think we might end up be calling that. So there's a song I wrote called One More Dance.
Okay.
It's really upbeat, very traditional. I'm thinking that one might be the title track, the title of the album.
Uh-huh.
Either that, or I wrote another song, and it's called Come Home to You. And that one's got a really cool vibe to it. It's a really cool love song. I think a lot of folks will relate to it. It's between those two songs.
Okay, so One More Dance or Come Home to You, right?
Or Come Home to You.
All right. You heard it first right here, everybody. An exclusive.
I haven't told anybody this at all. So you guys are literally like the first ones to hear about this. So that's kind of the route we're thinking of taking. But I still got to do a photo shoot for the album and stuff, and so like the whole time I'm thinking, all right, if we do One More Dance, okay, how can I do this album cover? To make it cool. So just a picture of me. Can I do this like? I'm on stage, like I'm taking like a picture of me like on stage, and then especially someone's in the on the dance floor or something,
right.
or Come Home to You, and am I like, the Bronco like hauling down the road or something, or I don't know, there's a lot of cool things.
Well, and you told me before that you actually did your own album artwork, right, yourself?
Yeah, I do. I do all the graphic design. So pretty much what they do is, we'll do a photo shoot. They'll edit the photos, and then I go in. I receive the photos, and I say, okay, this is either the best looking one or this one, and then I'll start. I'll go into Photoshop, start adding filters and stuff, throw in my logo, and then throw in some different type of fonts for the song titles and stuff. And so I have to do all that for the CDs and everything. And it's a little time consuming, but I've learned how to do it. And it's actually not that hard. It's actually pretty simple, I guess, today with the technology and stuff, where I don't really have to pay someone, a lot of money to do this and something.
And then you get creative control, not only for the songs, but the way the songs are presented is all on you.
Right, exactly. And then if there's something I don't like, well, I can always just go back and just change it, myself. So, but yeah, man, I'm really excited for this album. I've been working on it for the past, probably 4 or 5 months, and it's funny, right? Because in the studio, we start working on it. We start working on the song, and we've already got something down pretty solid. And then, like, I just get an itch one day, and I hear it, and I'm like, okay, what if we try this, man? And just do, like, a complete 180, and we just delay the song, delay it another week or so.
I was going to say, Robert Ray. Hey, Robert, that's a bad way to finish a record, okay?
but that's the beauty of being in the studio, because we get to experiment with so many things. I explain to folks with country music, it's such a fun genre, because there's so many instruments you can put in a song. You could put a banjo, you could put, of course, electric guitar, the pedal steel, the fiddle, the mandolin. I just learned about this new instrument. It's called I always called it just a slide guitar, but it's actually called a dobro. Uh-huh. And anyways, piano. There's just so many different instruments you could put lead instruments into a country song.
And they all evoke such a great differing emotions too, I think.
Yes, definitely. Really cool. There's a song I wrote on this album that I wrote about my grandpa. He passed away back in March of 2017, and he was a huge fan of my music. He literally had wore out my CD in his Ford F-150.
Wow.
And we actually lived with him for about 10 years. So it wasn't just that he was my grandpa. He was kind of, pretty much, almost like a second father to me. And we'd go hunting and all that. And it's been tough, because my grandpa was a huge part of my life. And now that he's not here, I thought it'd be nice to pay, to do a song about him. So there's a song on there. It's actually called My Superman. It's an acoustic song, kind of, I say it's acoustic, but it's acoustic with piano and fiddle, and it's just a very, very deep, emotional song that I think a lot of folks will connect with. Just the vibe that the music gives off and the lyrics. It's a very deep, meaning song. I think folks are really, really gonna like it. And like I was saying about the album being very diverse. I have that track, and then I have some love songs, I have some drinking songs, I have some really good dancing songs, I have some heartbreaking songs on this one. So, this album is kind of all over the place. There's 8 tracks. I wrote 6 of these songs, and I did 2 songs that I didn't write. But all in all, man, these songs, I think they're really top notch. And of course, what can I say, man? They're my babies, And, and it's hard because people, ask me like, so which one's your favorite? And it's like hard, These are like my children. You can't really have a favorite.
Oh, you can. So, you can. I've got favorites of my kids.
But yeah.
But man, it sounds very exciting. So again, we're talking to Robert Ray. Got a new album coming out soon, probably maybe June. You said single in a couple of weeks. Got a little preview about some song titles, direction of the record. Man, I'm telling you what, from what you're describing, it sounds very exciting. It sounds like it's kind of going to be the best of the classic country sound. So it's very exciting. Hey, let's talk about this now, because you got a big show coming up. Friday evening, you're performing at the Poteet Strawberry Festival. Is that right?
Yeah, man. We're gonna head out there. We're gonna be there from 8 to 9:30. Hour and a half set. I think we're gonna be on the Bud Light stage, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, man, this is my first time ever being at the Poteet Strawberry Fest, and I've heard a lot about it. I've heard it's kind of like the festival to be at.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited and just honored just to be just to play in it. So. And not only that, it's the hometown of George Strait, so
right.
Of course I want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, you're playing the Bud Light stage, Friday, 8 to 9:30, an hour and a half set. That's pretty cool. And people can get information at strawberryfestival.com. I'm giving away free tickets a little bit later in the program here. But yeah, it's going to be cool. So hour and a half set. So you're going to do, obviously, kind of like when you did your show here at Lone Star, you'll do some of your original work, and you and the band will do some cover songs, I guess, too?
Yeah, definitely. I like to mix it up. There's some folks that haven't heard my music, so what I like to do is I like to give them a little taste of hit them with a few covers that they're probably familiar with, and then I just start kind of throwing in my originals in there, And so, I mean, should be definitely a good evening, good night. I think the weather is going to be okay. I think it's going to pan out. I think, you know, I've been kind of tracking the weather because I know we're supposed to get some rain, but I think it's going to come in. I'm thinking, you know, I looked at my weather app, and I mean, and I've been watching the weather too, but it's saying Saturday, but man, you never really know, you know, so.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, this is Texas, you know, one day it's 40 degrees, and next day it's, you know, 80, 90 degrees. So,
oh, I know. One day it's July, one day it's December, literally, so. Yeah. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, man. Me and the family, we're road tripping over to Poteet. We're going to go see you, rain or shine, man. So I suggest everybody else do the same. Again, Robert Ray, 8 to 9:30, Friday night at the Poteet Strawberry Festival. And, man, thanks so much for the preview on the new record, man. I'm telling you, I'm totally excited, man. It's very cool.
Yeah, man, definitely. And once it comes out and all that, I mean, of course, you know, I'm going to, you know, shoot you guys a copy. And, of course, like we do like an interview like this, or maybe, you know, maybe we could do a show somewhere there, maybe at Lone Star, whenever, and I can go in and kind of give a backstory of each song, you know,
Oh, man.
Because I always love doing that, you know, because a lot of, you know, because I like hearing that, you know, I like hearing how artists wrote their songs or came up with a song or how they did it in the studio and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, like a behind-the-music kind of thing. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff,
definitely, man. Kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff. But, yeah, man, for sure. And like I said, we'll probably shoot you out a single probably within the next few weeks. So be on the lookout for it. And, again, man, I appreciate you always supporting my brand and my brand of music and always spinning my stuff. And thank you for helping me reach number 2, man. We're running with you. Even if I don't hit number 1, man, I still appreciate you guys.
Hey, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out this weekend, right? Once again, Robert Ray here, currently the number 2 song in the Texas country charts, title track to his album "Runaway with You." And let's go ahead and play it right now, since we're, you know, hopefully number 1 again. You'll have 3 number 1s off this record, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Robert. Thanks so much for checking in, man. We do appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. See you at the Strawberry Festival. It's 104.9 Coyote Country.
Know it's been so long. I know it feels just right. But we both know it's wrong meeting here tonight. Just look into my eyes, lying day by day. Time to make things right or walk away. 'Cause you take over me, my heart, my soul, my everything. I know I can't miss my chance to break these chains, to cut me loose, so I can run away with you. Whoa, whoa. I'll take you in my arms, take your breath away, give you all my heart. Baby, what do you say? 'Cause you take over me, my heart, my soul, my everything. I know I can't miss my chance to break these chains, to cut me loose, so I can run away with you. Cause I'm begging you please, don't wait till it's too late. Can't miss out on our chance. So break these chains.